Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day. Welcome to, I'd say, the first episode of Inside Pandora, where I'm just going to talk about the trailer in general. It's been a week. How's everybody doing today? As always, if you can hear me fine on the mic, just let me know in the comments if you can hear me fine. If the mic's too loud, too soft, just let me know, as I always like to do an audio check in the beginning of my streams. How's everybody doing tonight? Or today, this afternoon, this morning, whenever you're watching this from. Captain Kirk, happy birthday. Big happy birthday to Captain Kirk. Hello, Eric. Hello, Evelina. Hello, Rebecca. Maria, hi. Stardust, you say you can hear me. Perfectly fine. Georgia, thank you for confirming. Eric, sounds good. Thank you so much. So welcome to the first, I would say the first episode of Inside Pandora. Is this going to be a weekly thing? I don't know. I just thought that it would be interesting to do like something, talk about the trailer the week after. It's been a week now since the trailer released. If I go to the official Avatar YouTube channel, you can see that the Avatar trailer released 7 days ago, and quite an impressive 32 million views in just a week, compared to the teaser trailer that released a couple of months ago. 6 months ago, the teaser trailer released and it has 25 million views, compared to the full trailer which released a week ago and it has 32 million views. So yeah, I would say the excitement for Avatar is definitely there. And speaking of excitement, how excited are you guys about this image? Like, I cannot get over just how stunning this image looks, and just the detail. I mean, from the left we have Fike, then we have I can never say her name properly, but it's like Zinarsk or something. And then you have Brown, you have Alexander, and then you have what's the other guy's name? Let me just go to this this page here. You have Fike, Zinarsk, you have Brown, Lopez, and then you have Alexander, of course. But yeah, this image is absolutely stunning. It just feels so smooth, and I really love the tattoos on this recom. It's just so clean, and yeah, it's just really a stunning image. But I do still wonder what's happening on the other side of this image. Like, who are they talking to? Are they talking to Spider? Are they looking at Spider? Are they looking at Quaritch? Or like, what is happening here? But what I want to talk about mostly is the IMAX trailer that I've been so heavily breaking down, and just the incredible amount of details that you see from the IMAX trailer itself. If I go frame by frame, you can see that, let me just change the resolution maybe to 1080 so it doesn't lag too much. But you can see, looking at the IMAX trailer, there's just so much more detail in the trailer compared to the original trailer. It's just so much more dimensions, so much more to look at. Specifically here, where I pointed out in one of my videos, where you can see, if you go frame by frame, you can see there at the back, you can clearly see Spider. Let me just go a few frames back here. I'd say about here. You can see there at the top is Spider running there at the back. And I'm guessing you can see him right there where the mouse cursor is. And I'm guessing the scene takes place more or less in the area where the kids are running together, in the same kind of scene. This one, where is it? Right here. Yeah, this one here. Because before that you can see Spider there on the left. So I'm guessing these two are connected, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is basically the scene where the kids essentially try to explore in the forest. They try to just go on their own, and then because they explore on their own, they go in an area where they maybe not supposed to. Maybe it's this scene, and then here, looking at the first teaser trailer where the kids basically see the location where Jake and Quaritch fought, maybe they find this area, they find that mobile station, and at the same time, the recoms happen to be there as well, and they're trying to kind of like sneak up to them, trying to see what they're what they can discover, and then the recoms obviously come around, and then this is when they are basically surrounded. Because you can see here, there's Loak, there's Spider, Kiri is there as well. So this is likely the scene where they get captured, maybe. And then of course from here we can also see that going back to the full trailer where the kids is on the ship. If I just go to that scene, one of my favorite scenes in the teaser. If I can just find it, it's somewhere here, I believe. You can see here is Loak, Tuk, and I initially said that Kiri is there, but again, looking at this from the top view, you can actually see, I'll get to the comments in a moment, you can actually see from the top view that it is actually Tsireya that's captured, not Kiri. I think I got that a little bit wrong in my breakdown, because if you look at the tone of the Navi that's sitting there from the top, you can clearly see that it is, if you look there, if the shadow just go over them, you can see there's Loak right there, you can see Tuk is right there, and then you can see there's a Metkayina right there, which looks like Tsireya. So I thought initially that was Kiri, but I don't think she's going to be here. So that part I got wrong in my breakdown. But what are you guys all saying in the comments? How are you all doing today, wherever you're watching it from, wherever you're listening? And what is the time? And most importantly, it is now almost 9:10 in the evening. Beautiful, beautiful evening here in Norway, but a very cold evening. You guys saying you love the tattoos? The IMAX trailer was so good. Yes, it was. The IMAX trailer just gives so much more detail. You can see Neytiri's legs clear in the trailer. Yes, Stardust, that's correct. Kiri is so cute. There's a prequel comic to The Way of Water. Yeah, I think I'm like 3 or 4 comics behind. So I'm slowly trying to get up to date with all of the comics. Let me see here. I do think this movie will do well in the box office. I don't think it's gonna... yeah, Eric, you're saying that's a leg of a recom. Yes, I initially took that as if I just go back here a little bit, I initially took that, you can see there, you can clearly see there, initially I took that as one of the kids, but you can see there at the bottom is the leg, the knee of a recom. So that was something I got wrong. Yeah, that's on me for getting that wrong. And then of course here in front of this recom is one of the is Tsireya. You can almost, no, you can't see through there. You cannot see it through there. But yeah, it's just amazing that how much more detail you can see in the IMAX trailer compared to the normal trailer that we got. And as I pointed out, you can see there in the distance, right there, right here is a recom fighting as well. Right there, looks like a recom. All of them are bare feet. I don't know why they're bare feet. That's watching from Finland. Evelina, watching from South Africa. Gideon, you're watching from South Africa. I am from South Africa, actually, originally. Living in Norway, though. From Germany. 9 o'clock in Sweden. Watching from the US. USA. You're saying, what did James Cameron expected Avatar to earn in order to just not stop at part 3? I'm not sure, but I think it's gonna make enough money. I'm not worried about that part. India, Italy, watching from Poland. At college in US. What do you? You're in college. What are you studying? Curious what you're studying. Sneak attack at night, that's why bare feet. You say, like, awesome line, you say that it's sneak attack at night, that's why they're bare feet. But if you look at one of the other shots, this one here, when you like, I don't know how to zoom into a YouTube video, but if you zoom into, like, if you watch a the good quality of this trailer. Let me see if I can just bump up the quality a little bit. It's gonna definitely lag, but you can see that even here some of the recoms are bare feet. So I don't know why they're bare feet, but I do wonder if you can see if they're bare feet from this shot from the top. Let's see here if they can see, if I can spot that they're bare feet. I unfortunately have one of those loud keyboard and mouse. It's like I need to get a new I need to get a new mouse and keyboard because it's so annoying that it's so loud. Yeah, you can even see here that they're on the edge there, they are bare feet. So I don't know why they're bare feet. Evelyn, you're so glad you stumbled on this live. I was so bored and desperately waiting for new Avatar content. Thank you, over 40 of you. Thank you for so much for taking the time out of your day to just tune in and be here talking to me and hanging out and giving your opinions and you know, telling me stuff I get wrong and telling me what I get right, and just, you know, just being here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Studying zoology, animal care professional. That's really awesome. That's really awesome. So you probably then when they talk about the Pandoran animals and all that, that's probably something you know a lot about. So it'd be interesting to talk to you about that sometime. But yeah, that's really awesome. You're saying you have an Avatar themed bedroom. That's really awesome, really freaking amazing. I converted my living room the other day when I watched the trailer on my 4K TV. I have a TV with those lights in the background, so it looked like my living room was converted into an Avatar living room, because when the trailer was playing, it was just blue lights everywhere. It looks so stunning. One thing I want to point out that I noticed just before I went live is that there's this on the Twitter, the Avatar official Avatar account posted this this book that in case you don't know, it's the visual dictionary, and they focus on Bridgehead. They show Bridgehead here, and they just say that you can pre-order the book, which I've already pre-ordered. But when they closed it, I noticed something specific. I tried to see if I can notice anything in between, but do you see there? If you go slowly, do you see that? That's an image of Tuk that we've not seen yet. That is very that is really awesome. I mean, I think this scene, this image takes place where Jake is talking to Tonowari, and Tuk is like no. Looking at the sky there at the bottom, there where the hand is, and you can see that her hair is almost moving backwards, almost as if wind is pushing her hair backwards. I do wonder if this scene, this image, is when they are flying to the reef. So you can see that the yellow is the sun going down. You know, it's like either early, or the sun is rising early in the morning or late in the evening. Either way, and you can see that because her hair is like being pushed back, and you see she has almost like a robe, kind of, I would say like a blanket almost around her, because you can imagine that if you're flying that far, that it's cold in the air. So Jake obviously wants to keep her warm, so he put something around her just to keep her warm. So I think this scene takes place on the way to the reef. That's my thought, at least. But I don't think you can see it in the beginning when the book opens. Let me see. You can somewhat see it, but it's not. I can't really see what's in between these pages. I'm like trying to make it go as slowly as possible, but it's too blurry. It's I cannot really see what's in between there. It's too blurry, but you can see Tuk there, and then right at the end when the book closes again, you can see a clear, much better image of Tuk right there. Something I didn't see before. Literally before I was going live, and I was just watching this video, and I was pausing. I was like, hey, did I see is it what I think I saw? So interesting to see that. But going back to the IMAX trailer, yeah, so what do you guys think about the trailer? I would love to know. Just let me know. Did you like it initially, or did you expect to see more, or did it want from Amazon? And that is this one right here. You can see Jake with his gun. Really cute. I was wondering if we were gonna get Funko Pops for Avatar. These are of course based on the first movie. You can see there you have Jake Sully, you have Neytiri, you have Battle Neytiri, and you have Courage. Sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my cup of coffee. But likely you will be able to. They're probably going to release a second wave, which is going to be for the Way of Water, because the same with the Lego sets, the same with McFarlane's figures. We got the first movie's Lego sets, we got the first movie's McFarlane figures, and then only afterwards we got. They gave us the second movie. So yeah. I'll get to this image in a moment. But yeah, getting back to this image, did you guys see the human there? There's a human on the side there. I don't know if you guys can see it so well on the screen, but it's there's a human on the side there, and I don't really know where the scene takes place, if it's on a base or if it's on the Sea Dragon. But the magazine, the film exclusive, the Total Film magazine releases tomorrow. So there's gonna be a ton of information that comes from that magazine. Maybe a couple of images that we've seen already, but definitely a lot of information that we don't yet know. Marta, you're saying the photo with Tuk is probably from the scene where they're flying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. When they're flying to the reef, it looks like it's happening there. You can see there, it looks like her hair is flowing backwards, and it looks like Jake's holding her, and it looks like she's covered in some sort of blanket. If you can see there, it looks like just something warm, because obviously it's very cold in there. So, and then this image was quite an interesting image. I do feel, like I said in my video with the spoilers, I'm not gonna go too much in case some of you want to avoid potential spoilers. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I do think that this takes place more towards the end of the movie. And there at the back there is Kiri, and on the left is likely Loak, and then the person behind Kiri is probably Spider. Just based on that, it looks like it looks like you can almost see like blue lines there, and you can see that his skin tone matches that of Spider's, and it almost looks, if you look at his face, it almost looks. I know it's very blurry, so I'm trying to put pixels together, but it looks like I mean, here you can see that's a eel, but it looks almost like this person is wearing a mask, and Spider would be the one to wear a mask. But getting onto Jake's face, it just looks absolutely, yeah, there's quite a lot of emotion in his face. Eric, you're saying did I see Spider in the trailer during the ceremony scene? In the trailer? Which trailer are you talking about? The trailer or the teaser? Because I know Spider's featured 4 times in the new trailer. Firma, you're saying that's not. Firma, you're saying that's not Spider. It looks like Spider. That person behind Kiri looks smaller than Spider. Yeah, initially I thought it could be Tuk, but I mean, I don't know. It could be Spider as well. It's I don't know. It could be Spider as well, because we know that Spider and but yeah, looking at the size as well, there's a significant difference in size. So it's possibly that it's Tuk. The official. You're saying during the ceremony, the Spider's there. Okay, I'm gonna go to the official trailer. All right, you need to tell me now which scene are you talking about. You talking about this one, or are you talking more towards the end? 28 seconds. Oh no, it's freezing up, it's lagging. All right, 28 seconds. No, 38 seconds. Okay, let's go to 38 seconds. You say spider is here. Let me see. Let me go to good quality here. Let me see a spider. I'm trying to, like I said, I don't know how to zoom in on a YouTube video, so I'm just trying to. Is that spider on the left there? There above the mouse icon? Yeah, because you can see there, you can faintly see what looks like a mask, and you can see the hair as well. You might be right on that one. I'll have to take a screenshot of this afterwards and just look at it in Photoshop to make it more crisp and stuff like that, and to see what I can find. But nicely spotted. I did not see that. Nicely spotted. Over 50 of you in the chat. Thank you so much for taking the time joining me in this chat a week after the trailer was released. In the pinned comment, there's a link if you guys want to enter to have a chance to win The Art of Avatar. It's this book right here. I'm giving it away. The link is on the pinned comment. The competition is worldwide, so regardless of where you are, if you are chosen as the winner, I will get in contact and I will get your details so that I can ship it to you. The book is only releasing after the movie though, so keep that in mind. But if you want to have a chance to win this beautiful looking book, just follow the link in the pinned comment, and yeah, then you'll be entered to, then you see how you can enter to win this book. But going on to the other image, this one here of Quaritch, which was not a total film picture, but Fandango image. Couldn't get to the name now. It's quite random that they just threw out this image, and it's like, okay, it's not the best quality image. It's a bit pixelated. I tried to find the best quality one I could, but it's a bit pixelated. But here's of course Quaritch with his amp suit, and you can see there on the left, right there and right there, is the arrows sticking out. So definitely interesting. This is the bottom of the amp suit. Of course, you can see there, this is the bottom part, and you can see there the legs come down here, and it's like completely overgrown because it's been years, of course. So very, very interesting. And you have to think about it, that if the memories of Quaritch was transferred to the recom, then of course the final memories of him dying was not transferred. So he never saw himself die, I suppose. If they think of it as a, I don't know, as a cloud save, if you will, like if you save your game every 30 minutes, and you play the last 30 minutes and the game, and you die in the game, then of course that last 30 minutes is not going to be saved. So if they didn't do like a backup of sorts for the last battle, then Quaritch wouldn't know. Well, in this instance, Quaritch wouldn't know that he died or how he died. So that's probably why he's so shocked to see his amp suit, to find his body, and that's probably why he looks so full of emotion when he picks up the skull, but also he's full of rage because he wants to get revenge. He figured out that Jake killed him, but thank you guys for all the comments. I'm trying to go through all of them, but yeah, thank you so much for over 70 of you. Wow, thank you so much. Is Sea Dragon a plane or a ship? It's a ship, I think. Yeah, it's a ship. It's the massive ship at the in the teaser, in the trailer. It's this one right here. Because right there you can see it says SD1, which likely stands for Sea Dragon 1. So yeah, this is the Sea Dragon, likely. But do you guys think that we're going to get another trailer? Would you want another trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water? And if we do get another trailer, what would you like to see? Would you like to see it focus more on the recoms? Would you like to see it focus a bit more on the RDA? Or would you be fine as is and just go watch the movie as is? I would honestly be fine if we don't get anything and we just go see the movie, which is coming out in just over a month. It's quite crazy because it felt like the other day when I was talking to a friend of mine, I was saying it's just over 100 days and now we're just over 36 days. So, I want the next trailer to be high and tight. I want it to be home for dinner. I like to see some spider in the next trailer. Yeah, me too. As long as they don't spoil this plot for the... Yeah, me too. I don't want them to spoil too much. But speaking of potential spoilers, let's go on to this image. I spoke about it in one of my videos, in a spoiler video. So do keep in mind that what I'm about to discuss is potential spoilers. Nothing has been confirmed, but you can clearly see that this is the avatar of, again, spoilers, potential, just pointing it out there. So if you don't want potential spoilers, then just mute for I'd say probably like 3 minutes. But yeah, this is potentially the avatar of Grace. And the reason I say that is because the beads in her hair matches up with the beads of Grace, and the lines on the avatar body matches up with that of Grace. When I compare them side by side, I looked at many shots afterwards that I didn't include in the video, and the lines just seem to match up. And in the leaked audio, Kiri does say mom. She says hi mom to Grace, to whatever is in the tank. So that also gives me the impression that Kiri is the daughter of Grace's avatar. But the question is how and when, if that's true. So one thing that I was also thinking about, and this is a possibility, this is just a theory, is that when Grace died in the first movie, that her avatar was next to her human body, and she didn't make the transfer, but when she saw Awa, so maybe during the transfer, there was you can say that a seed was planted in the avatar body of Grace. Instead of Grace being moved over to the avatar body like Jake was, you can say that Awa planted a seed or a life form inside the avatar of Grace, and somehow Grace's avatar, even though she was essentially dead in that way, but her body might have been kept alive by Jake and Neytiri in this tube, and that was because they realized that there was a baby inside her. So that could possibly be how Kiri was born. That's possibly why Kiri has a strong connection to Awa, because Awa was the one who planted the seed in Grace's avatar to make her pregnant, to give birth to Kiri. And that's why Jake adopted Kiri, because they knew that Grace's avatar was lifeless but still alive, awake in that sense. Like, it didn't have a mind, but it was still alive if you understand what I'm trying to say, and it was pregnant, so they kept it in this tank until Kiri was born. And yeah, that's why Kiri is the way she is, because she was born from an avatar. She has 5 fingers, her mouth, her eyes. She has eyebrows, just like Luak, because Luak is the child of an avatar and a Navi. And yeah, that kind of just makes sense if you think about it in a way. But that's also just a crazy theory that I was thinking about, that Grace's avatar essentially gave birth to Kiri because Aiwa planted the seed in her body when she was trying to transfer Grace. So because she didn't do a successful transfer, so yeah, she didn't do a full transfer, so that's why Kiri has a lot of Grace in her. But yeah, that's just a theory. Yeah, you say Grace is with Aiwa, she's communicating with Kiri. That is a very, very strong possibility. You know, if you think about it, you can loosely think about, if you remember Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron, when Ultron was trying to transfer himself to a new body, he didn't do it completely. He did it only halfway, and then Vision was essentially born. And Vision had a lot of Ultron in him, but he wasn't Ultron because the transfer wasn't completed. So in a sense, like if you just roughly take that idea and put it here, this could have been what happened, you know. So because the transfer wasn't completed, Grace is with Aiwa, but at the same time, a part of Grace was planted in her avatar, and as such, her avatar became pregnant, and that is why Jake and Neytiri had to keep her avatar alive, had to keep an avatar in the tank, because they knew that Grace's avatar was pregnant. So what if you're saying, what if the version of Grace's avatar is another attempt at a Grace recom? I also made a theory that I thought that Kiri could have been like a failed recom, but the more I think about it and the more I look at different images and stuff like that, I don't think that's the case. You guys are saying Kiri was the first failed attempt. I say failed because Jake caught her before the RDA could use her. So this made another one, and Kiri happens upon this new version of her. That is also a possibility. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities. Maybe she was born as a normal Navi, but she has Grace's features. I don't think she was born as a normal Navi. I think what makes her special is, I mean, she has 5 fingers, she has eyebrows, she has a much more human-like facial features, like Loak, and because Loak is the child of an avatar, that gives me the strong indication that Kiri is the child of an avatar as well. Cyan Warrior, you're asking, do I think there's a snow clan? Do I think there's a snow clan? It is quite possible that in future Avatar movies we might see different biomes. I think Pandora's a big place, and it'll be interesting to see. I would love to see like a snow Navi clan, and then around their neck, you can just imagine around their neck, they have this, they have evolved to have like some sort of fur to keep them warm, and around their arms and around their body they have a little bit fur. So that would definitely be interesting to see. I would love to see the different kind of Navi on Pandora. Earth may be featured in Avatar 2. I hope so. I would love to see what's been happening on Earth since the first movie. Does Spider get an avatar? I do think so. I do think that's a possibility. I don't know if I have that image open. Yeah, I have this image open. This image has me very intrigued because, like, this image could either be Spider looking at his own avatar, or it could connect to this image. So if you look at these images side by side, you can see that maybe this could be Spider looking at the tank that Kiri is looking at. They're looking at the same tank. Or Spider could be looking at his own avatar body that he's going to get. It's one of the two. I'm not sure. But I do think Spider's going to possibly get his own avatar. Tristan, you're asking Neytiri's or Netaim who's dying. I would guess Netaim, to be honest. Finrod84, you're asking, have I talked about Quaritch yet? I did speak earlier about Quaritch, and I talked about this image already, about him seeing the amp suit and about his memories and all that. So I did speak quite a bit about him, but I do think we're going to get possibly another trailer sometime, maybe early December, that's focused a bit more on the recoms and the RDA, because we've not really seen much about the recoms and the RDA. We've seen very little. We see some of it in the trailers, like very little. But yeah, I do think we're going to get a little bit more in the trailers. The RDA might give Spider an avatar. Yeah, that's also a theory that I thought about, that the way they kind of lure him to their side in a way is, or to come with them, is that they offer him something that Jake and Neytiri cannot, and that is an avatar. And also one thing that I thought about is, a while ago I spoke about Jake, basically that leaked audio where Jake talks to Neytiri and saying that that kid knows everything. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a leaked audio that I spoke about that I said that Jake said to Neytiri, that kid, he knows everything. Now the thing that somebody that I believe it was Evolution Square that pointed it out in the comment section, was something that I thought about, is that the way he says it is very distant. Like you wouldn't say to, even though Spider is adopted, but he's still Jake's son, and you wouldn't just say that kid, you know, you would refer to him as like, my son knows everything, and you would immediately make a plan to rescue him, and you would just drop everything to try and get your child back. And the way Jake just kind of like is not, I wouldn't say not in a rush, but he's a little distant with Spider. It just comes off as being a little bit distant to Spider, and I just wonder why. I wonder if there was some sort of I don't know, fallout or something. I don't know. It's just a bit weird the way he says it, that kid. And it's just like, I even spoke to my sister about it, and my sister has 2 kids, and I just asked her randomly, I was like, have you ever said to somebody when they're speaking to about your kids, like, that kid, you know, he did good in math? Like, she's like, no. She always said my son. So it's just a very strange way to put it. Wow, over 90 of you guys in this chat. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, being here, taking time of your day, no matter where you are watching this from. It is now 20 minutes to 10 in the evening. Beautiful evening here in Norway, but very, very cold. I hope it's not too late wherever you're watching it from, but thank you for taking the time and watching here. I appreciate it. One thing I wanted to point out that I did spoke about briefly is the 2 posters has a very similar vibe. That's something I noticed. You can see it has the yellow RNG at the bottom, and it just has the same look. So it'll be pretty awesome at the end when the 5th movie, if the 5th movie does happen, looking back at all of the posters, if they have the same like kind of same kind of look throughout all of them. But yeah, what other image did I want to talk about? Yeah, like, so this image, I do think these 3, this one, and this one, happens in the same, it's possible that they happen in the same scene. And here you can see, of course, is Grace and Norm. And I spoke about it before, but you can just see the way that Kiri looks at Grace is almost with a look of like sadness, of long loss of like, you know, somebody you really miss. So yeah, I do wonder what her connection will be to Grace. But going back to the IMAX trailer, which is initially what I planned to talk about mostly, and I just went off topic completely, is that even here, you can see if you go a little bit more frames more up, I need to not do this in 4K because it just lags too much. But yeah, you can see again something I pointed out earlier, the recoms are always bare feet, and here you can see on the left hand side is a soldier that's getting up, and you can see this soldier with the suit is kind of just like turning to his left as he's about to get there. Let me just remove that. Yeah. And then this scene likely takes place in the beginning of the movie. You can even see here the outfit Neytiri wears here. I believe it's the same. Yeah, it's the same outfit. So you can see that she has this nettings around her legs, and you can see that coloring around her arms. It is the same outfit she wears in this scene. Where is it now? I believe it is. It's a few frames back. Let me just lower the resolution slightly so that I can just do this a little bit faster. Yeah, here you can see that she is wearing the same netting around her legs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they leave as everything's being set on fire. Like Jake's trying to tell her, you know, we need to leave, we need to go, and she just wants to stay. And then right as everything's just going crazy, going to hell basically, then they get on the Banshees and they leave. So that's why she has the same outfit on. And with the IMAX, you can just see also more on the side, more at the top, more at the bottom. You just see so much more with the IMAX trailer. And you can see here is Kiri in the shot as well. You can see there at the back something I didn't point out earlier, but you can see Kiri is standing there right at the back. You can see her right there on the right side. And in one of my videos or in one of my breakdowns, I said that Loak is almost shocked that he's not being greeted, but I do think I am wrong on that one. I do think that Loak is, you can see by the expression on his eyes, if I just speed this down a little bit, playback speed, make it half speed. Yeah, half speed should be fine. Then I can bump up the resolution slightly. You can see there. You can see if I go a few frames back. You see there, it changes. It looks like far in the distance. And I think that's because that is the first time, likely, when he sees Tyrea. So he's like a love at first sight kind of thing. He's like almost lost for words when he sees her. He's just like his jaw drops open when he sees her. I think that's what's happening. I don't think so much that he's shocked that he's not being greeted. I think Nadeem is more shocked that he's like, yo bro, like what's your problem? You know, that's the kind of attitude. Yeah, the cape, that's the thing that Kiri is wearing, looks like a banshee wing pattern. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go through all of the comments afterwards, because you guys are just amazing with bringing up theories, bringing up ideas, and pointing out stuff also that I don't see immediately. What's one of the other shots that I wanted to talk about? Something I also pointed out in my breakdown was where Kiri and Tyrea connects. That is this scene right here. You can see there on the right, you can see Tiraya also connects her queue. So he's standing there next to Kiri. And the normal trailer like cuts off almost the entire top part. So you can see right there. You can see right there. She's also doing it. But this shot is also an absolutely stunning shot. This is a really, really beautiful shot. And this one as well. And also with the IMAX trailer, you hardly see any of the Metkayina at the bottom. I noticed that as well when I looked at the IMAX trailer compared to the original. You don't see all of these people at the bottom at all. You see a couple of heads, like very little, and you see the tips of the spears, but you don't see all of these Metkayina. And you can see the Stonewari likely gathering all of the Metkayina ready for war. That's something you don't see. I think Eric, it's probably preparing for war. Their Stonewari is getting them ready for war. Excuse me. That's just my thoughts. So I'm just gonna take another sip of my cup of coffee. You know, here in Norway, it's about, today it was negative 3 degrees. So it's definitely getting on the colder side, and it's trying to keep warm, of course, but I do love winter though. Another shot that I want to talk about is the one with the skim wing, which is just really, really beautiful. And I did point this out in my breakdown video as well. It's where you can see the skim wing being on top of the water. You can see there its tail. Look at its tail. You don't see that in the trailer either. I'll get to the baby in a moment. Even if I go slower, you can see the skim wing's tail, how they just manage to stay on top of the water. It's just something we don't see. You can see there how it goes side to side. You don't see that in the trailer. And then of course this baby shot, which I did a video on. I still don't know whose baby this is. I think it's Renald's baby, but I don't know. I don't know. Whose baby do you think this is? Let me know. Who do you think this baby is? Do you think this baby is going to be an important character in the third movie? I believe there's going to be a time jump later in one of the movies. I think the fourth one there's a time jump, but I do wonder whose baby this is going to be. And then of course, as the trailer is about to cut, you can see the baby is like kind of turning towards the tulkun. So he's like or it's like recognizing the tulkun, like kind of smiling. You can see that it has a smiling expression, and the tulkun is almost like connecting to the baby in that way. So I do think that this is the spirit brother or sister of the Metkayina. Like each one has a tulkun, which makes it nearly impossible for other tribe to bond with the tulkun, which makes Paikan and Loak's bond so much more important, because I do think that he's going to be the first one outside of the Metkayina to bond with the tulkun, and that's going to be very, very important. I think it's just a random baby. That is a possibility as well. I mean, I'm looking at this baby and I wonder if they did mocap for the baby. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. That's also a possibility. I mean, I'm reading so much into whose baby this is, and this could just be maybe shortly after Jake and Neytiri arrives at the reef with the Metkayina. They could be trying to learn more about this new tribe, and then we could see almost like sections of how they hunt, what they eat, where they live, and possibly how they give birth. And this could just be a random baby, and I'm just trying to figure out whose baby this is, but it's just be like a random baby. And then of course this scene as well. Looking at the Ikrans, the Banshees, it could possibly be the Banshees of the Recoms, because you can see they are not. One thing I noticed, like I said, every time I watch this IMAX trailer, it just feels like I'm seeing new things. So if you remember from the first movie, when Jake saw banshees for the first time, they were very wild. They were very like, it was a scary thing to see for him. So he was afraid of them. But here you can see the banshees being very, I don't know, just chilling out there, not really worrying about what's happening, not really caring, So that means possibly that the recoms has taken over these or taken these banshees, whether by force or not, but it just seems like the recoms has taken these banshees, and this seems to be their banshees, because in a recent interview from the film Total Film magazine, the tidbit that Stephen Lang spoke about is that Quaritch is adapting the Na'vi ways, adapting their ways of fighting, transport, all that kind of stuff, and of course transport meaning the way using a banshee. So undoubtedly we're going to see recoms use banshees. That's one thing that's almost certain that's going to happen. And how they bond with the banshees, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be more of a forceful thing or if it's going to be more of a natural thing. I do think it's going to be more of a forced thing, just by way of how they are. Tristan, you saying Tulkun Rider is Luak? Yeah, I do also think so, that the Tulkun Rider is Luak. Finrod, you're saying you wonder if Pandora has predatory giant squid or octopus. That'll be interesting to see. I think they're keeping a lot of the ocean away from, like, hidden and not showing in the trailers, because there's a lot that we don't know. Because there's a lot that they want to show as a surprise in the movie, of course. But it'll be interesting to see if there's more creatures like that underwater that we don't know, that we don't see. You're saying you like Loak character a lot. Yeah, me too. I like Loak and Spiders, probably the two characters that I am most interested in to see. And then what else did I want to point out in the IMAX trailer? Of course, this part that I pointed out, I don't know if you guys have figured it out yet, but let me just go to this. Where is the scene? It is more at the back here, I think. This scene. Not this one. The one coming up here. Who do you think is lying there at the back? Because here, around this area, you can see it looks like right at the bottom here. It looks like there's a body lying here almost. And there's somebody, it looks like Loak, kneeling over to mourn a loss of somebody. Just again, something new that you don't see in the regular trailer. And then of course in this scene where she picks up her bow, you can also see there at the top, you can see something or somebody lying there. Took won't be killed. No, Took won't be killed. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it's Took. It's definitely not going to be Loak. Not going to be Kiri. Spider, it's not going to be Spider. So the only child who I can see won't make it through this movie could be Neytiri. And it'll be interesting if we saw a case where Neytiri gets killed, but somehow at the RDA and the recoms obtained his memories or something, and they make a recom out of him in the next movie, and then Jake has to fight his own son, who is a recom. That'll be interesting to see, but yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. And then this shot as well. Here you can see at the bottom there, it looks like I don't know if that's again, I don't know who that is kneeling over, because in the shot of the trailer you don't see that either. But then again, it might not be any of the Sully family. It might be somebody else completely that dies. I'm just trying to speculate here, putting theories together based on what I've seen, based on what from the images, and just trying to put the scenes together. So we'll have to wait and see. Just over a month ago, so yeah, just over a month ago. But from the new movie, from the new trailers at least, who's your favorite character so far? Which character are you most excited to see? For me, like I said, it is Loak and Spider, and from the RDA, it's of course Quaritch. Maybe Neytiri's mom. Yeah, it's possible, but I do think that she might die in the beginning of the movie, during the fire and the destruction of their home. That's maybe where she might die. Evelina, you're saying Kiri and Siraya is your favorite. Kiri. Loak and Tonowari. Kiri. I want to see more of Netaim. Kiri. I'm seeing a lot of Kiris in the comments there. So you guys are most excited to see Kiri. Did you guys see the hearts pattern that the fish has formed around her feet? Well, at least it looks like hearts. Let me go to that scene quickly. You can see here the fishes are swimming around her feet, and if you stop it at the right moment, right there, that looks like a heart around her feet. It might be purely coincidence, but it's just interesting that the way the fishes are formed, it literally looks like a heart is being formed around her feet. You can see there's the heart pattern right there. Again, purely coincidence, or it could imply a little bit more. And also, like I said in my one breakdown video, it's interesting that the fishes are only swimming around Kiri's feet and not Jake's, heavily implying that there's something very special about Kiri. Let's see, what else is there to point out from this trailer? Anything specific that you guys think I missed when watching the IMAX trailer or got wrong? And I can jump to that section. And of course, given the images that we got recently, you know, there's a lot to take away adding these images up to what we've seen already. Because as I said, this likely takes place towards the end of the movie. And this takes place probably around the midway, and then this also more or less towards the midway. Goddamn, the recoms are buff. Yeah, they are. They are. Antmar, are you saying you would expect Jake or Neytiri will die at some point in the future film? Probably in 3. Yeah, I do think one of them will eventually die, but not in the second. Definitely not in the second movie. Let's see what other images. What other images do I need to look at? Yeah, this is just I keep coming back to this image because it's just such a crisp, clean image. Like it's just really a stunning image. Not the second, but either at the end of the third or start of the fourth. Yeah, maybe the start of the fourth because it is said that if I remember reading correctly, I remember reading that there's a bit of a time jump in the beginning of the fourth movie. So something might happen to Jake or Neytiri, and then we might get a like a Avengers Endgame situation where it's like so many years later. I think that Jake's avatar will get paralyzed again. That's interesting thought. That would be very interesting if that happens, because obviously it'll traumatize Jake a lot, because, you know, so that's interesting. Something I didn't think about. That is a very interesting thought. I really hope, Bella, you're saying you really hope we get all 5 movies. Me too. I really hope we get all 5 movies. I do think we will, though. But You're saying that the recon patch says Deja Blue will trade on you. That's a cold line. Yeah, I did a breakdown video of the recon patch. You can actually see the recon patch on Brown's t-shirt right there. You can see a print on his sleeveless hoodie. You can see the patch right there. But I think for now, this was more of a last minute kind of live stream thing. So I don't know if I'll do every week inside Pandora. This is definitely the first episode. Well, episode 0, I would say it was last week when I did the first breakdown of the trailer when it released. But this would be episode 1. So maybe I'll do a weekly show of this, talking about the week stuff leading up to The Way of Water. But depends if there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But given the fact that the Total Full magazine is releasing tomorrow, there's likely going to be a lot of information coming from the Total Full magazine. So you guys can definitely expect a ton of new information this week. I love this shot, by the way. These shots with the Elus. You guys can definitely expect a ton of information. And thank you for joining me in this live stream. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, taking the time out of your day. I've been streaming now for about an hour. So thank you so much for just tuning in, being here, just joining me in the chat, and just hanging out, giving me your thoughts. I'm gonna definitely have to go through the comments again afterwards, because there's so much things that I miss in the comments, and I just like rewatching the live streams and reading the comments. So yeah, thank you so much. And like I said in the beginning, and the pinned comment, if you want a chance to win the Art of Avatar, in the pinned comment there's a link. Just follow that link to enter the competition, and it is a worldwide competition. So no matter where you're watching from, you will have a chance to win the Art of Avatar 2. The book does release at the end or the middle of December after the movie releases, so just keep that in mind. But I will get the book to you if you are chosen as a winner. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody tuning in, commenting, being here, just giving your opinion, telling me what you liked, telling me what you didn't like, and also pointing out when I get stuff wrong. That's also very important. And wherever you are watching this from, I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday evening, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. And I hope the rest of your week is fantastic. We're just over a month away from the release of The Way of Water. We're going to get a lot of marketing stuff for The Way of Water. So if you want to go on a media blackout for The Way of Water, I will perfectly understand that, and I'll respect that that's your decision. Because there's probably, just judging by the way Disney has been pushing clips for Wakanda Forever before the release, I can expect that we're likely going to get a lot of stuff for The Way of Water before its release. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see, but also, I don't want too much spoiled before the movie. But again, thank you guys for so much. Over 70 of you in the chat right now. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys hang out in the chat, that you comment on my videos, that you just are here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for all of you. Wherever you are in the world, have a fantastic day. And as always, stay safe.